All right. Yeah, that took a minute to load. Cool, blimey, mate. Right. Boy, I feel like it's been a hell of amount of football since the last time I did the show, you feel me? You know what I mean? But freaking hell, boy. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, there's been a hell of a lot of football in the past week or so, coming thick and fast like 30. Ticking fast. TIK no talk, ya zimmy. But welcome to the Chinksy Sports presents the Arsenal podcast. And straight in with the fire. Nah, but yeah, we played Brentford in the Carabao Cup last Wednesday. A good win, good hard fought win. Not an easy place to go. Especially in the second half when they put it on us a little bit. But yeah, quick recap. I'm going to mention a couple players notable players for that match, that particular match. Start with Emil Smith Rowe. He finally got substantial minutes under his belt. Hopefully, he can build on his fitness and gain some momentum because that left centre midfielder role is up for grabs with the likes of Fabio Vieira and Kai Havertz. He played really well in that game. Was unlucky not to have got himself on a score sheet. As similarly on Saturday, where he he clearly felt he should have scored because he was quite distraught at full time. And I like that about him because it shows that he is ready to kill. He's ready to be efficient, to score goals. He's not just there to do nice dribbles and not get a sit. He's because he knows that competition is fierce at Arsenal, but it's up for grabs at the same time, especially the position he's jostling for, if you like. The next player, notable player, was obviously Reece Nelson. A lot of people man of the match for that game. Mine was Tomiyasu. But yeah, he got the match winning goal. Took his goal really well. Had a very good game in general. And could end up being the Saka right wing deputy that we've been seeking for in the last 2 or 3 years. For me, I would like to see him get a little run in the side, especially with Saka needed for the weekend. I'd like to see him start today. Him and Emil. I'd like to see them both start today. The team sheets will be out in less than an hour, so I'm looking forward to seeing who starts that game. I personally think Saka's gonna play this one tonight, though. And anyway, enough about Saka. For now, Eddie Nketiah, another game without a goal, but he seems to be doing everything but score. He's proven handful for defenders. He's coming short, looking strong. Being a bit unlucky. He wasn't happy to come off on Saturday, but he's starting a lot of games, which is meaning that Jesus is peeling off and playing on the wing. I don't think that's necessary now because it looks like Trossard's back, and Martinelli's not far away from coming back. So hopefully that stops. But yeah, Nketiah, another solid game, good performance. Japanese defender Takahiro Tomiyasu, arguably the man of the match. For me, he was the man of the match. Is an invaluable, versatile utility man who's almost unbeatable in area duels and can play anywhere across a back three or a four. I would like another player I'd like to see start today. I feel like he's really, really pushing for a start. I mean, he's coming in and not letting anyone down. He did make a mistake at the Emirates in March against Man City, so I wouldn't start him for the Sunday game, but I would start him tonight and give potentially Ben White a rest. I'll come to the starting lineups a bit later on. Obviously, Aaron Ramsdale came back into the side. Another player who I'd like to see start tonight. Came back into the side at Brentford, made some outrageously outstanding saves, but had one or two moments, which is typical Aaron Ramsdale. Some may say it's exactly why David Raya was brought to the club, as he's more nonchalant. You feel more, you feel less worried with the ball at Raya's feet. He seems more, you know what I mean, more comfortable, confident with the ball at his feet. And he's a better starting point in terms of build up play. But no, that's not to say he's not a good keeper. Yeah, I'd like to see him start tonight, this evening, give him a chance to make his Champions League debut. And it wouldn't surprise me if he did. I think he will start tonight. But more on the starting lineup a bit later on. Charles Sargo Jr., It's Sago, not Sago. I think he's Ghanaian. Made his first team debut. The youngster may seem to have come from nowhere. To be honest, I hadn't heard of him before I saw him in the team, but I've heard he's been excelling at youth level and has been training with the first team quite a bit this season. He had a really good game. He didn't get the ball as much as he would have liked, but it's a good solid start, and hopefully he can get a couple appearances over the course of the season. I'm not sure if he'll start against West Ham in the next leg, but he's done enough to be in and around the first team squad. Perhaps earn himself a loan move to Championship side. Yeah, the Brentford game was one of two halves for me. It's a game of two halves, similar to the Spurs game. I felt like we had to dig in a little bit in the second half as we survived the mini second half onslaught from Brentford, who literally put it on us. They threw a lot of long balls towards the box, crosses, more robust, more direct, typical Brentford. That being said, I felt that we did enough to win the match in the first half and should have went into the break probably about 2 goals up. But for some good saves from the Brentford keeper, they went quite strong in that game. We made changes. That was our second team pretty much. But we did well to squeeze through and onwards and upwards. I felt like we were quite a vintage Arsenal in that first half, knocking the ball around really neatly, and we dug in the second half. West Ham in the next round. For me, the cup's up for grabs now. It's an open cup, open tournament. A few teams can win it, especially as Man City crashed out at the hands of Newcastle. And one of the finalists of last year, Man United, and also Newcastle again, will be going out. I mean, penny for Eddie Howe's thoughts. You first get Man City at home in the first round, and then you get Man United in the next round. That's kind of peak. For me though, Liverpool are probably the biggest threats to our first League Cup triumph in 30 years. When I watched the draw, I was literally begging for the likes of Man United, Chelsea, Newcastle, because I just want to be the ones to knock them out. I feel like we can go to anywhere and knock these teams out. We shouldn't be afraid of them. I think more so they're afraid of us. I feel like them sides definitely don't want to face us in the cup, especially if we put out our first team. But I don't think we mind playing anyone, with the exception of Liverpool. I think we would be looking to avoid Liverpool perhaps at this early stage. But if we have to play him in the final, so be it, because I think it's probably a 50-50 game for me. Right. It's the Brentford recap. Just gonna check out the Arteta post-match interview, and yeah, bow.
Well, really happy in this competition. You are in or out. We are in. Two very different halves. The first half that we had a lot of control, scored the goal, and had some chances to put the game away. And we didn't.
Yeah,
In the second
definitely.
half, yeah, they had a more aggressive approach as well, and we struggled to progress the ball.
Yeah, definitely. So he's basically saying what I said. Like literally, the first half, the game should have been pretty much done. We should have gone into the break 2 up, at least for me. Second half, they just said, right, let's put it all out there. If we're gonna go out, let's go out fighting. But we managed to hold out in the end, and we're in the draw. And we got a nice draw against West Ham. Should be a good game, tough game, but one that I think we should win.
Traveled together. We were too direct, and then becomes a difficult game because it's a lot of duels, then it's free kicks, it's long throws. You have to defend every time, bring everybody back, and try to get out and win territory from there. And they are really good at that. And when we don't play that well, you need to have some big defensive moments, and we had. So with some big blocks in the box, and we ended up making a big save as well.
Yeah, I didn't mention we got a bit lucky as well. With like ricochets, world class saves, profligate finishes from Johan Wisa. Should have got on the score sheet. Missed some good chances. But like I keep mentioning, we shouldn't have been in that position. It was a bit like the Tottenham game, where for me we should have been comfortable going into the break. But once you don't get that second goal, the game is always open.
For sure, I think he's been exceptional around the place with the situation and like everybody, like Jakub, I think he played really well. Tomiyasu, Georgie, after what happened 3 days ago, he reacted and played a really big game. Rizzi, that he hasn't started many games, scoring the goal with Emil. And for sure, Charles, it was a big day for him. He's great.
Yeah, I didn't mention Jakub Kiwior and Jorginho. I couldn't mention everyone. I just wanted to mention 5 or 6 players that just of note. But yeah, all of those guys for me, I'll literally probably name a very very similar side tonight that started that Brentford game. But I would probably anyway. We're gonna get into the starting lineup in a bit for the Lons game, but yeah. It was nice to see Jorginho silencing his critics with a solid performance. Kiwior playing at left back. I thought he would as well. I think I did my predicted 11. No, I put Zinchenko in. I changed it because what I thought he would do, I thought he would what was it? I thought he would play Saliba. But yeah, anyway, forget all that. But yeah. So no, it was good to see Kyrgios and Jorginho come in and play well. Hopefully they can both play today as well, innit? So yeah.
An academy player playing with us, and a lot of positive to takes, and as always, a lot of things to improve as well.
Well, obviously, people will talk about Aaron. I mean, the way the fans reacted to him, they clearly love him, don't they?
Yeah.
Before they kicked off, they're singing his name.
Yeah. We love him more, for sure. We have him every day. We know him. We know his character. We know what he brings to the team, and we are really happy to have him.
I don't know it's difficult to leave any player out, but when there's a player who contributes as much as he did last season, does that make it even harder when he doesn't?
Well, I don't know. Every player is very important. We have a lot of injuries as well, a lot of players that contributed. But in football, it's about now. It's about the moment. And today had the opportunity to play, and he played a really good game.
Okay. It was also quite a big night for Emil. First half, nearly 500 days. How did you think he got on?
Well, I think he had really good moments in the first half, and the game was much easier for him the way he was developing with his qualities than the game that we started to play after 5-10 minutes in the second half. And then obviously he was more struggling, physically still not there to play 90 minutes. We have to bear in mind that we had 4 or 5 players in that field that they were subs, and that was a big concern today for us to the lineup, especially because we have 7 at Colney that are not fit now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think it's imperative that Emil Smith Rowe gets as many 90 minutes under his belt as possible because he's a player that needs to be playing football. He's got that kind of body type that he needs to be fit because if he's not playing, he's like, he's a bit, he has to watch what he eats. He's got one of them body types where like he needs to be playing 90 minutes. Wayne Rooney was another like that. There's a few players like that. Luke Shaw, he needs to be playing 90 minutes, 90 minutes, 90 minutes, training well, eating properly. You know what I mean? Because he's got all the ability in the world, and I think I could see him starting. If he can get momentum, if he can get a run of game, some goals and assists, I could see him earning that centre midfield berth alongside Rice and Odegaard. If Partey's not there, I could see him starting. But he needs football, and it was good to see him get substantial minutes in that game. Hopefully, he can get an hour, 75 minutes today, if not the whole game tonight. And let's see how he goes because he's been looking impressive, and it looks like he's playing with a point to prove, like a chip on his shoulder.
We analyze every game with the right prisma and characteristics to understand what we're going to find in the next game, and we made the call.
Jordan? Yeah, just on Emil. Did he step up a lot in the second half? It looked like he was.
He did, but it wasn't because of that. We had to manage his minutes, his load. It's been a big spike in the last 2 weeks as well, and he was struggling to finish the game. The same with Riz.
Is he bringing something different to the midfield in that number 10, number 8 role where very direct and tries to do?
Yeah, he's very vertical. You see him when he's running with the ball, the capacity is go to combine in short spaces, arrive in the box. He's got different qualities to the other attacking midfielder. It's great to have him. We need him at his best, and now he's starting to get some rhythm and minutes, which is really good for the team.
Just one more on Ramsdale. So I think it's about the 66th minute when he pulls that sensational diving save, I think to deny Luisa. What did you make of that save? And also afterwards, sort of fist bump to the home fans were giving him stick the whole game.
I didn't see the second part. I saw the first one because I had a really good angle. It was obviously a great save that it was crucial for us to win the game.
That's what's called quality, obviously. Like it's got a lot to pull these reflex saves off.
Yeah, I don't think I'm the one to ask the quality of Aaron Ramsey because I was the one that brought him when everybody was.
He definitely called Aaron Ramsdale Aaron Ramsey. I wonder what Ramsdale makes of that. Mad thing.
In that decision. So I don't think I'm the one to ask that question.
Okay, last couple. Firstly, go ahead.
Three away games, 3-1 nil wins, and like scored quite hard, but a lot of the players seem to enjoy playing these stadiums, these atmospheres,
Yeah.
nice and pretty engaging. Must be really happy just with how they respond to that, being able to see like the results obviously as well.
Yeah, and they've been different games, but the outcome, as you said, it was the same. And we are really happy that we can produce performances, especially with clean sheets, something that at home we've been struggling, and it's a study case almost to understand a lot of what happened. But yeah, we're gonna need that. We played 3 games away in a row now in 8 days, and it's going to be crucial. Maintain momentum, have a good feeling, and going to the next one now is Bournemouth, which is going to be a really tough match.
And finally, Gary.
Well, obviously the context of the situation we had with a lot of injured players helped that possibility. But every time we can, we have to look in our academy and give chances. And Chaz was probably one of the most consistent players that we had in the under-23s for a few months. He's been training with us quite a lot. And it's about giving opportunities to people. And if we don't give it today, when we have that, when we're going to give opportunities as well to our youngsters. And I'm really happy that he had a good experience.
Yeah, it's good. So yeah, it just reiterated what I said about Sago Junior's debut. Um, so yeah, obviously the players that I'm sure a lot of the fans are aware of is like Wanyeri and what's his name? What's the other guy's name? The one that's likened to Saka. What's his name again? Double barreled. Amario Kozia Dubry. He's another one, a winger. So for him to like kind of bypass them two and bring in Sago Jr. must mean he's liked what he seen. But it's good. Anyway, what I wanted to say was it's good that Arsenal continue to give these youngsters an opportunity because traditionally us and Man United, we always have 1 or 2 youth products in our first team squad. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing and long may that continue, man.
No, he's a winger. He's played off the right, off the left. He's played as a 9 as well this season.
He won't be playing as a 9 for Arsenal. But yeah, that's enough with the Brentford fixture. We played Bournemouth on Saturday afternoon. We won 4-0. Fantastic performance. Some are labelling it as the best performance of the season. Nonsense. Obviously, that was the PSV game because they were better opponents. It was on a bigger platform, bigger scale. It's Champions League football, and we played better. We ripped them apart. But we did play well. It was a controlled and measured win. We sapped the life out of them. Literally, they just had no answers to our questions. I want to mention the penalty situation though. That's interesting. So someone mentioned that Odegaard seems to be taking the away penalties and Saka seems to be taking the home ones. But then I feel like I need more. Let's say we get a penalty at home. Odegaard might take that one. So now that would that would just literally put that out of the window. That theory. But yeah, it's good to have. I don't know if it's good to have 2, but one thing it does, it confuses keepers. And as long as them 2 have an agreement between them, like kind of what's going on, whether yeah, you take it today or how you feel, or because it's away. I don't know what the agreement between Saka and Odegaard, but I feel like time will tell. That's what I'm trying to get at. So what I've also noticed is the player who isn't taking the penalty grabs the ball, puts the penalty on the spot as if he's going to take the penalty. He waits to the very last moment before the penalty needs to be taken. Then the actual penalty taker steps up to take it. That does two things. It confuses the keeper slightly, as he would have mentally prepared for perhaps Saka to take the penalty. And also, it takes the pressure away from the actual taker, because obviously, someone could try to put him off, the fans could try to put him off. But then if he's holding the ball for like 2 minutes, you start messing with his psyche, his thought process. However, if the actual penalty taker is somewhere else and takes the ball at last minute and spatches it in, his head's clearer. But I feel like it was a supremely controlled performance from start to finish. It wasn't exactly quote-unquote exciting as it was last season, especially at the beginning. But I feel like what we are now is we're more efficient. Hopefully, it will help us in the long run in what is a marathon of a season. We tend to slowly sap away opponents' confidence, especially away from home, like a tapeworm, like a tapeworm, by keeping the ball, moving it around, not giving it much away and scoring. What that does is it quiets down the fans who are usually upbeat and optimistic during the first 20-25 minutes of a match. I think this is the main difference between our home and away performances, especially in the last 12 to 18 months or so. As at home, we're more like kind of gung-ho and we're more trying to be impressive and emotional. We're trying to blitz the opponents, as Mikel Arteta said last week. We're literally trying to kill off the game within half an hour. Which means we're more open and susceptible to errors. And our mistakes often seem to lead to goals, especially at the Emirates. At the end, I noticed that Smith Rowe I already mentioned this, he was visibly upset. And I love that. I feel like we're chasing perfection. But yeah, man, do you know what I'm saying? Hopefully he gets an opportunity to start tonight. And if he does, hopefully he's more clinical. Right, here's Arteta's.
Well, very happy the way we approached the game. Since yesterday, I think the team was ready to play. We knew about the challenge that we had ahead of us against a team that I think they don't have what they deserve in terms of the game that they have played. They don't give you any time. The ball is always under pressure, small ground, very difficult to get out of that. But I think we read the game really well and the right to win it.
What did you make of Kai's goal and the celebration?
I'm really happy for the win, but I'm even happier.
He's really happy for the dog.
To be part of something and to be part of a team that shows the human qualities that they have shown today. Without me telling them absolutely nothing, to show that leadership and that empathy towards a player that has some question marks to resolve externally, they won me even more today. And they've done it in a really natural way, and I'm delighted that they have made that decision. I'm so thankful as well to our supporters, the way they have seen his name and have made him feel.
Whoa, listen, bruv. Samilana, waka waka, 60 million down the drain. Kai Havertz scores a game. That is not a song I would want someone singing for me. It's literally a viol. Like I wonder, penny for Kai Havertz's thoughts at that song. I feel it's vibey. I can't lie. I mentioned it's vibey. Got it on my channel and that, but literally 60 million down the drain. You want someone singing that about you, bruv? Louder. What's Arteta talking about? It's a vibe, but like, come on, change the lyrics. Someone, bruv, come on, man.
The way that he's felt today, and if there is a person in that room that deserves that, is Kai Havertz. So happy for him. Probably would change everything. But first of all, he had any question marks about how we feel about him, how much we love him, how much we appreciate everything that he does. I think that's out.
But then it begs the question, does him actually scoring that penalty, does that actually bring more pressure on him? Because the critics will be like, the boo boys will be like, oh, he's only scored a penalty. So now the emphasis will be on him to score a normal goal, or if he does score like a off the backside goal, it'll be like, oh, look, he's scoring a scrappy goal. There's always going to be something else. They're going to want him to be playing nice, to be silky, but that's not his game. I think we need goals from him. I think that's the main thing. We need efficiency. We need him to just play well. I think to look better than he has been, to look like a £60 million player. So there's huge pressure on his shoulders. I don't think scoring that penalty just changes everything magically, because people are gonna be like, okay, given, like that's charity, like. So if he can get some goals, assists, better performances, I think that's what we're looking for.
Have to do a lot and you don't see that, but in that moment you see it, and I'm sure what he's been through in the last few weeks, this moment is worth every moment of the other one. So really happy for him.
Sorry. Okay, I suppose the only bad thing to is Bukayo linking up again. Is it the same issue as last week, or is it something new?
I don't know yet. I haven't had a chance to speak to him. I think this one was a stamp. He was in the same area, but I don't know. And Gavi as well was limping after the game. So yeah, let's see how they are.
I guarantee Bukayo Saka will be fine. If he doesn't play today, it's because he's being rested for Sunday. But I think he's gonna play today. He plays every game. You know what Arteta's like with Saka. Saka tends to get kicked and looks like he's out for the next game, every game. But he always plays. Because his game...
Take the leadership to make those calls. I don't know. I haven't asked them. But I imagine that Bukayo has to take it. So first of all, he gave it to Martin, and then he gave it to Kai. So it doesn't really matter. The beauty is in the gesture and the fact that the players can make those steps and those decisions.
Did you sense just from being around Kai and around the place that he needed something like that, a moment like that?
Well, we have all tried to give him support and the right tools to do what he has to do. He's doing so many great things in the game. It was about that moment that was the question that had to be resolved, and today he's done it, and to show that level of, again, empathy and understanding and worrying and caring for somebody, it's just great.
Yeah, it was good. I think Kai Havertz did have a really good game. It's good that he banished this 007, 008 agent narrative, and it's good that's like out of the window and that. But let's score some goals in open play now, man. Let's get some assists. Let's have better performances. Let's have more consistent performance. Let's go, Kai. Let's go. Let's go, Kai. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not here to evaluate. What I can tell you is what I see every single day. What we all see every single day is his level of commitment, desire, attitude, understanding, quality is top. And he has to come out in every way. It's coming in many different ways. He has to come today in a way that he puts the ball in the back of the net.
Does this win and then obviously Manchester City losing today show that it's far too early to be thinking about the title race or anything like that? Because last week it was quite down after the Spurs draw, and suddenly things have changed so quickly.
But this is going to happen. Nobody's going to win every single game in this league and playing the way we have to play every 3 days. So we need to be consistent in what we do, try to play and pick the right team every time to try to win the game. But some days it's not going to be possible. And it's the 7th game of the season. It's still a long marathon.
Please, so far this season, Mikel Arteta has refrained from calling Man City the best team in the world, the best team.
Man City have lost to Wolves this afternoon. So if you guys beat City next week and you go top of the table, how do you feel about this?
Well, what I feel is I'm great that we have won the game, and that's the only thing that we can control. And now I'm just move them for Tuesday, and again try to make the right decision with the lineup and the squad to maintain the level that we are showing. Be great, but I think we have another
4 consecutive clean sheets we've had this season. Basically, we haven't conceded a goal on the road this season. We kept clean sheets against Crystal Palace, Brentford, Bournemouth, and Everton away. All tricky games in their own right. And it's good. It's a good basis to know that you're not going to concede, or you won't concede much, because we know you're going to score a couple. So, it's a good basis to work on. But, like Arteta said, we need to translate that to the Emirates. But anyway, enough of Bournemouth. We got Lons tonight. The team sheets will be out in under half an hour. Right, Champions League. Lons, they're perceived as the group's weakest team. And the fact that they took points off Sevilla away did us a huge favour and makes it easier for us to qualify the league. but they haven't started this season off well and have lost their 21 goal top scorer, Lois Openda, Congolese don, plays for Belgium, to Leipzig. So yeah, they started really bad. They were like 19th, 20. They were like literally bottom of the league, rock bottom. But they in recent weeks they picked up a little bit. I think they're around mid-table, about 12th, 11th, something like that. But it's a team we should beat nevertheless. They did actually beat PSG. I remember them they're good at home. They were good at home last season. I remember them thumping PSG about 3-1 or 3-0. I remember that was a few months ago. But the team lineup, for me, I'm gonna predict the team lineup. I think Arteta's gonna go quite strong. I know a lot of people think he's gonna rest players, but I think he's gonna will he go strong? Yeah. I think he's gonna the players that I think must start for me are Ramsdale, as in he's got to find a space for Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Kiwior, Jorginho, Nelson, Smith Rowe, and Havertz to build on his confidence. And then obviously give Vieira a run out, if not a start. Trossard, if not substantial minutes. If he doesn't start, then give him substantial minutes. Thomas Partey is back in training, so hopefully he can get some minutes, if not a starting berth. But the team... Alright, cool. Let me do the team that I'll go for. I'm going to do Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Ben White at right back. Tomiyasu and Kiwior centre back. Zinchenko left back. Jorginho, Havertz and Smith Rowe in the midfield. That was the same as Wednesday. Reece Nelson, Gabriel Jesus and Trossard on the left. I would rest Saliba, Gabriel, Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka as we need them at their best and we need them wrapped in cotton wool to beat City, and hopefully Gabriel Martinelli can also get some minutes under his belt, but it doesn't look like he's travelled with the squad tonight, so that would be surprising if he does. A win keeps us in pole position for qualification going into the double header against Sevilla after the international break. The team that I think Arteta will put out is probably going to be similar, but I think he's going to go strong. I can't lie. Something's telling me Saka's going to start. I'm going to go Ramsdale. Whew. I think Tomiyasu will play, but the only question is where. I think he'll play Saliba, I can't lie, because of France and stuff like that, and he didn't play last Wednesday. So I'll go... It's interesting. I'll go Tomiyasu, Saliba, Gabriel, Kiwior, Zinchenko. That's the question. It's mad. I don't know. I'll just go Kiwior. I'm just guessing here. Midfield. I don't know how fit Thomas Partey is. That's the problem. Is he just going to fling him in? Right. The Man City preview. Whew, this is the time to beat Man City. It's the time to beat them. We haven't beaten them in years. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. I think we will win. I fancy us. I fancy us. I like the form we're in. Man City are a bit vulnerable. They've lost 2 games in a trot. They could lose to Leipzig, and if they don't, it's a tough game anyway. Bayern Munich will tell you. They drew with them last Saturday evening. So they got a tougher game. They play tomorrow. We play today. They're missing Rodri and De Bruyne. Haaland's a little bit off the boil-ish. So anyway, the tier: Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Thomas Partey, hopefully he's fit, Captain Odegaard, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, Jesus and Trossard. Our strongest team with the biggest question marks being in goal. Raya just edging out Ramsdale. On the left wing, Trossard just edging out Martinelli. Obviously because of form and fitness issues and the fact that Trossard scored against Man City coming off the bench. To have Martinelli potentially coming off the bench though would be a daunting proposition for Man City. but I'm sure it's one that Kyle Walker will relish. However, Thomas Partey, Martinelli, Trossard, Declan Rice will be fired up for this one, especially the latter. He snubbed Man City for Arsenal in the summer. He'll also be eager to show the world who will have their eyes on him and on the match that he's a world-class operator.